What up, what up, what up, what up? How we all doing today? This here will be my very first YouTube upload, so thank you all so much for clicking on this video. And without further ado, let me welcome you all to the Sarkanaverse. Is it a little bit conceited to name a whole server after myself? A bit. Do I care at all? No, I do not. Now, as you may have noticed from the title of this video, is that this is episode 1-ish. And the reason why this is episode 1-ish is because the server is about 1 month old. However, I'm going to waste no time and to go ahead and plug in my Twitch channel at the bottom of the screen and in the video description, and note that the entire server has been documented over there on my live streams. And now that I've decided to give this whole YouTube thing a go, I am right in the sweet spot of the server being just young enough to warrant a new series and just old enough to not want to start over again from scratch. So, what is the Sarkanaverse? Well, what is any whitelisted survival multiplayer server? A group of friends playing Minecraft together. As of right now, the server consists of 4 active members. With me, up in the north, we have my partner in crime, the lovely Torgwen.
Hello.
West of us, we have my cousin, Jayplaid.
Hey.
He is also a Twitch streamer, by the way, and you should totally check out his channel right after you check out mine. And to the east, we have my best friend, Twiztidhandz.
Hi.
I was the best man at his wedding. Some things to note. This is a vanilla Minecraft Pocket Edition server. We play on hard difficulty. Our seed is listed below, but it's just the mushroom biome from the seed picker, if you wanted to give that seed a try. Although this is a vanilla server, we are using one behavior pack, which is the One Player Sleep add-on from Foxy No Tail. Link in the description below. We wanted the true Minecraft experience, but let's face it, requiring everybody to go to sleep at the same time, it's annoying, to say the least. Foxy also does have a nifty Mob Heads add-on, which would have been awesome to have on this server. Unfortunately, the add-on has both a behavior pack and a resource pack side to it, and our server host doesn't really handle resource packs all too well. And by all too well, I mean at all. So, for now, we had to scrap that idea. Alright, now that we've got you caught up on what the Sarkanaverse is, let's go ahead and get you caught up on our progress, shall we? We started over in this area, and we, at first, just like any other base that we have created, it started off as a little hole in the wall. I spent a lot of my time in this little room right here. As you can see, ow. Just a little fishing shack. Mainly, whenever I left my game AFK, I was typically in this room with this fishing rod right here that I got from fishing in this hole. This was our starter base. Not much to see here. We didn't spend all too much time here, maybe a week at most. Nah, not even that, just like a few days. As you can see, we've even emptied out all of these storages. We might go ahead and hold on to this just in case someone else joins the server and needs a little place to stay for just a little bit. Might go and hold on to this as a guest bedroom. Down here we did have a enchantment room, which has now been moved, obviously. So let's go ahead and show you where we live now. Over here we have a cottage that has actually been, for the most part, modeled after a vacation area that Torgwen and I like to go to in the real world. The lesser world, if you will. Moving into the cottage, our cozy little cottage, we have our dining table. We have our fireplace for nice relaxation. We have our study, aka the enchanting room. We have our kitchen space. Yes, every piece of the kitchen space is utility based. We got plenty of cabinet storage. We have our microwave. We have our oven. We have our fridge and freezer. Moving over here, we also have our closet space. While we can't actually hang up clothes and things, what we can do is use this as a storage. We got plenty of storage in here, at least for a starter base. Down here we also have my garage, but more on that later. Torgwen did a nice job of designing this place. By the way, while we're at it, that's our duo right there. She does all the designing, I do all the technical stuff that there is to do in Minecraft, and you'll see that once we head down into the garage, my space. But while we're in here, let's go ahead and show you this lovely spiral staircase hanging by the new chains introduced in 1.16, and both her and I just absolutely love these things. As you can see, we kind of put them all over the place, and by we, I do mean she. But moving up the spiral staircase, the hanging spiral staircase, we have our cozy little bedroom area. And yes, my dog is always on the bed, because where do dogs like to hang out? On the bed, on people bed. They think they're people. Who's a good little boy? Yeah, you are. Hello, B. How you doing today? So let's go ahead and give you a little flyby outside. This room here, we will be spending a lot of time in that room this episode. More on that later as to the functionality and purpose of the room, of the building. And out in the distance, you can see that is, believe it or not, going to be a windmill. It is using a lot of the new blackstone introduced in 1.16, and then also with the nether bricks that we just absolutely love that combination, and we're probably going to be using a lot of it. Coming in for a landing at my garage space. Yes, nailed it. Inside of my garage, this is where I spend a lot of my time. We have 3 generators in the back. Why do I call them generators? Because a farm implies that you plant something, you'll wait for it to grow, and then you collect. No. Let me welcome you to the 21st century. So, what's going on here? Yeah, I got sticky pistons pushing back and forth a layer of sand with 2 more layers of sand on top of it. And then up top, we got kelp that is just encased in water. And yes, you push that, and oh my goodness, look at all that kelp being generated. Sorry if you can't hear me over those loud pistons. Here, let me go ahead and shut that off. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's zero ticking. Oh, that's an exploit. Well, you know what else? You know what else is exploits? Quasi-connectivity. You know what else is an exploit? One-tick pulse in your redstone, you Java players. Yes, though both of those things started off as an exploit, were removed from the game, and then were promptly put back in because the redstone community, understandably, went into an uproar. While they are now parts of the game, they did start as exploits, so I don't want to hear it from any of you. This is part of the game. I just absolutely love these things. They make life so much easier with Minecraft. One thing to note about these generators, however, is that they are not AFKable. Now, that is because they do tend to break due to the nature of zero ticking. The sand below is going back and forth, constantly trying to drop and keeping these top layers of sand in a constant state of resetting its tick. And so by that, sometimes the kelp will actually manage to fall off. All you gotta do is make sure the machine is turned off, and then you replant and you're good to go. Make sure the machine is turned off, otherwise the sand will just fall down. Same goes with the sugarcane, not exactly AFKable. However, unlike the kelp, it will just go straight to the sand falling down. Not a hard fix. All you have to do is, again, make sure you have the machine turned off, put the sand back in. From up here, actually, you can just use the back wall to just plant it there, and then it will fall down. Replant the sugarcane, you're good to go. Cactus does not break the machine. It's just a lot more sturdy, I guess. I can't explain it, don't know why. Moving on. With that being said, however, these things don't really need to be AFK proof, mainly because, again, let's go ahead and show you this thing running. Just look at that. Look how many kelp it's generating all at once. It does not take very long for this chest to get full, all of these chests to get full, these hoppers to get full, these hoppers to get full, these furnaces to get full. And as you can see, another added bonus to this thing, which I just absolutely love, is that you can slap yourself some levers on these furnaces, and what that will do is that it will completely shut off both the input and the output for the furnace, allowing you to pick up a dried kelp and any and all XP that is stored in there is yours for the taking that way. You see this elytra right here? See how damaged it is? No, you don't, because it's completely full again. I mean, how do you think I reached level 207 with such ease? This thing is just so amazing. I cannot recommend these things enough for if you play on Bedrock Edition, and that includes consoles. So if you play Bedrock, this needs to be number one. This needs to be the first thing you build in your base. Once you got enough hoppers, once you got the redstone for it, build this thing. Now, moving back onto its main functionality is, I call this thing the fire starter for a reason. Look how much dried kelp blocks I have. Look how much dried kelp I have. Now, what you do once this thing gets full, it's not quite, actually, yes, it is full. Once this thing gets backed up, these things will shut off automatically, so it's not too bad if it does get backed up. However, once it's full, you craft yourself some dried kelp, you space it out like that so that you always have enough room for it, and then all you gotta do, smack it open, kelp block, kelp block, kelp block, kelp block. You get the gist. Alrighty, now that I have crafted up the dried kelp blocks and put the chest back, I seriously don't think you quite understand just how much dried kelp blocks this thing makes. As you can see here, we have our super smelter, and the fuel intake is completely full. And again, I still don't quite think you understand what that means, because the hopper line for the fuel intake is full. But if we go behind this thing, every single hopper you see right now, shut up, zombie, I'm trying to explain something. Every single one of these hoppers that you see is full of kelp blocks. Every single one of these things. That's how much kelp this thing generates. You need to build this right now. One last thing about this fire starter that I forgot to mention, one last thing I swear, is that when you do shut off the intake and the output, the amount of XP it gives you is based off the amount of kelp that you pull out at a time, meaning that when you take out a dried kelp, is that it does not give you all of the experience all at once, meaning that you can take from this thing several times. See, I'm level 210. Level 213, and it just keeps going from there. And before we actually move from the garage, I would also like to show off that the generators can also, again, anything that anything that you can grow on sand can actually be used on these generators. Most of these shulker boxes right here are full of bamboo because we use a lot of scaffolding, as you can see all around this place. Now, this actually isn't even all of the bamboo that I generate. This isn't even half. I burned most of what I made because I just did not want to find the place to store it. And if should we find ourselves in a position where we need more, I can just convert one of these things, probably that one, back over to bamboo. Alrighty, Wish, you come here. I'm sick of you ruining my takes. You die. And moving on to below the garage, all the way down to Y level 12, you should know the significance of Y level 12 by now, is that we have our strip mine. Now down this way, we don't actually have too far down because at the end, we actually did discover an abandoned mine shaft. However, these two tunnels go for chunks upon chunks upon chunks down there. And every 4 blocks, we got a new lane. Bam. Bam, this is how we do most of our mining. And then what we do here, we have this set up so we can just hop in the minecart. Once our inventory and our shulker boxes are full, take the minecart up, and bam. Now, do I need to attach the input chest to a lever, which is attached to a sticky piston? No, I do not. The reason why I do it, because Bedrock. I like to show off that you can move chests with sticky pistons in Bedrock. And now finally, we are going to be moving on to what we are actually going to be accomplishing this episode. Let's go ahead and get to our nether hub and show you what I mean. Alrighty, welcome to our nether hub. As you can see, I also have plenty of directions laid out. Down this way, we have Jayplaid, all by his lonesome, unfortunately. I actually am working on another tunnel leading to another point of interest. And then on this side, we also have Twiztidhandz down kind of way down there, but most importantly, what we're going to be focusing on today is the fully functioning firework factory. Yes, down this way, we also have Spawn Island, and a little bit further down that way, past Twiztidhandz base, we also have the end portal. However, we're going to be focusing on the fully functioning firework factory, or the FFFF, or the flying down, going to the factory. Welcome everyone to the future site of the fully functioning firework factory. Do pardon the mess because I am aware that there are a bunch of torches everywhere, lights everywhere else. That's because I'm trying to prevent any mobs from spawning on this platform other than there. Yes, as of right now, this is the partial functioning firework factory. We do have one creeper farm unit. However, I do want not just one, not two, but 3 more of these things. As of right now, I'm really only killing the creepers by the dozens. I want to kill them by the hundreds. One thing to note, however, before we get going, is that we actually killed the dragon fairly quickly. We got our elytras not too long after that. And so I had to build this thing as soon as possible at that time. And so I did not use the palette that I wanted to, which is gray and white concrete. And now, while concrete was not available to me at that time, it definitely is now. We just have to make it first. Let's go do that. I told you we'd be coming back to this place. Welcome everyone to the room that I like to call the Pounder. As you may have guessed, this room's main functionality is in fact to make concrete. You take your concrete powder, you stand on the dust, you aim at the torch, and you spam right click. You just keep doing that until, bam, it pushes it forward. And just to show off real quick how this is actually working, this is actually quite a common technique to use to make concrete on Bedrock Edition. In fact, if you look up on YouTube how to make concrete on Bedrock Edition, chances are you're gonna see hundreds of designs exactly like what you see here. So what's going on here exactly? We have a water source right here that is flowing 2 blocks down to make sure that it does not flow into the torch, which is just barely not connected to this dust. That dust, however, is connected to the block is connected to the piston. Once we place our concrete powder down, it will temporarily complete the circuitry, pushing the block away, killing its own power supply. Down on this end, you have the exact same thing. You have a redstone torch down here that is not connected to the redstone dust. That dust is going across all of the pistons. When the block gets pushed down this way, everything gets pushed forward. Again, this first layer of the Pounder is nowhere near my design. However, this layer behind me is something I came up with all on my own. This is where the room gets fancy. I have placed down some concrete here manually just to demonstrate that once the pistons push its 12th and final layer over in front of this observer, it's going to trigger this redstone repeater, which is set to its slowest setting for timing purposes. It will turn off that redstone torch right there, turning on this redstone torch right here, if I can get up. It will then trigger this redstone line, extending the sticky pistons while at the same time turning off this redstone torch, turning off these regular pistons just long enough so that once it happens, you now have yourself another layer to go through. And back over on the original side, we have the exact same thing as over there, just 1 block up and mirrored. And for those of you concerned that this observer is going to mess with the redstone line on the original pistons, do not worry, because it is considered a transparent block, and in Bedrock Edition, transparent blocks do not stop redstone lines. Now obviously, when you're designing something like this, it is very important that you make sure that your redstone lines on each of the different layers do not cross each other. You need to make sure that everything is running independently, yet synchronized. And because of that, I could not design a 4th layer that would not interfere with either of the sides. And with all of that out of the way, it is now time to make an absolute metric butt-ton of concrete. Alrighty, and with that, we now have well more than enough concrete than we need to finish what we need to do over at the factory. We can get those other 3 units set up, as well as replace all the blocks from the existing one. By the way, what did you all think of that time-lapse footage? We've been having a little bit of a mob problem in this room lately, so I went ahead and installed some 100% undetectable security cameras all around this room. You guys can't see it, trust me. Oh, by the way, if you're anything like me and you like to use your Silk Touch pickaxe to mine your ore and then line them all up, smack them away with your fortune pickaxe to see what you got all at once, this room is great for that. Leave it to Torgwen to completely alter a building while I'm busy doing something else. This is virtually unrecognizable from when we entered the building. And now, with much deliberation, I've also decided that not only am I going to replace every single stone and polished stone into concrete, but I'm also going to expand this central platform by 1 block on every side, making it from an 18 by 18 to a 20 by 20. This is something that I've been putting off for a very long time now, and it's time to go ahead and get going with it. Stop the time lapse. Alrighty, while I got you here, while I have this thing cracked open, may as well show you real quick how a creeper farm works. For each module, you make it 2 tall, but then with trapdoors all along the ceiling, which makes it 1.75 blocks tall, which will reduce the spawn pool to just creepers and spiders. Obviously, we do not want spiders, so what we do, in fact, I was under the impression that spiders required a 3x3 radius to spawn. Apparently, they only need 2x2. Hence, I've been getting spiders in my creeper farm. I don't care for it. I've been getting string. Let's just make it gunpowder only. And apparently, you need to make sure that you have your button placement in the northwest corner of every 2x2 little spawn radius. So here's 2x2. This one's okay because I had the block in all the corners to make sure that the creepers don't get stuck in the corner. And then for this 2x2 area, northwest corner. 2x2 area, northwest corner. You do that all along the way and you should be fine. Hopefully this will work, and we'll find out once I seal this thing back up. And if it doesn't, whatever, I could use the string. Resume time lapse. Alrighty everyone, I decided to cut that time lapse just a little short because I am legitimately becoming concerned about the length of this video. So I decided to go ahead and just give you a little update. First and foremost, shapow. Secondly, shaka. And lastly, shakaka. That's right, I have now 4 active units to this creeper farm, all conversion to one central pipeline. And so as of right now, each of the 3 additional units only has 1 base and 1 module. Obviously, I want 5 modules total, and so this is going to take a little bit more time. It's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. All right, let's do this thing. Let's give this a nice little flyby, nice slow turn, and oh my goodness, this thing looks so cool flying from a distance. As you can see, we gave it some red glass toppings, trying to make it match all the water lines and everything. Give it a nice white, gray, and red aesthetic all around. And man, look at all that gunpowder. Well, I guess that was just one right there. But man, if you look at this thing long enough, you're just going to be consistently seeing gunpowder flowing through it. However, I do think it looks cool, but if you think that there are some additional touches that we could add, let us know down in the comments. And as you can see over there, we have Torgwen. Let's go say hello. You probably noticed in the time lapse that she helped me out there at the end there. She helped me place all the buttons, trapdoors, and overall walls. But with that being said, hello. With that being said, there's really only one thing left to do. We got ourselves a fresh shulker box here. Let's do this. Alrighty, we are exactly 1 hour later. Let's go down here and let's check out the spoils. Alright, now thanks to this hopper system here, sometimes they will come up in the top one. So let's check that one out first. 15 in the top. And let's check out the main one. Let's see here. Oh, 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 that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and let's just go ahead and say 15 stacks in 1 hour. That is, totally not using the calculator, you can't prove that I am, 960 gunpowder in 1 hour. This thing is ridiculous. You know, from down here on this central platform, these things seriously look like giants glaring down on you. And I am still reveling at the half a shulker box per hour with this thing. And with that, we now have our creeper killer completed. Now, obviously, we are not actually done with this fully functioning firework factory. We still have to install some sugarcane farms, and I actually have decided to go with the good old-fashioned farm route as opposed to one of my paper mills, because I do want this thing fully AFK-able. And I think it goes without saying that the button redesign that I changed in the original unit and applied to the subsequent units definitely made a difference. I have yet to see a single string pop up in our loot catch. It really is just mesmerizing watching all the lights go off, watching all the gunpowder shoot down the tubes. Torgwen and I were standing here for quite a while watching this all happen. There's another one. Everything you see here in front of us is also quite temporary. I will be turning this 18 by 18 space into a workroom in which all of the gunpowder and sugarcane will all meet up in one convenient, organized space for me to make the magic happen. Now I think it's time we address the elephant in the room. Did I go a little overboard with this? Of course. Because it just makes me happy. Seeing all these creepers, well, not really seeing them, but they're in there, they're dying, trust me. I'm killing them by the hundreds, by the near thousands, evidently, with the amount of gunpowder I had in there per hour. Yeah, I am quite happy right now. Now, one thing that I'm actually having trouble determining, which I would like your help with in the comments down below, is where should I place my sugarcane farms? Should they be down below, level with the platform? Should they be up here, level with the bottom of the creeper farms? Or should I just have one giant one up here in the center to make it rain down the sugarcane? Let me know what you think. Alright, let's go ahead and get one more aerial shot of this thing. And from the top, and from the bottom. That is quite intimidating. It's casting quite a bit of a shadow. Yeah, it's dark down here. Yeah, I gotta go. And with that, everyone, I think it's time we wrap this episode up. Time to say goodbye. Thank you all so much for clicking on my very first YouTube upload, my first Sarkanaverse episode. Let me know if you're excited for more. And with this being YouTube, I'm not going to ask you what to do. You know what to do down below. What I will ask, however, is that you do check me out on Twitch TV/Sarkana. That link will also be in the description below. And until next time, deuces.
It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.